We are at Herman's Coffee with Zach Medina. So funny story, I used to coach Zach. I was his basketball coach, and now the topic we're going to talk about, as he is the co-owner of Viral Ideas, is teamwork. So he's going to mention that. He runs his own team, he runs his own business, so he has a lot to say and offer on that.
Yeah, so when I saw teamwork, I actually thought of something, me being an only child. And I started my first company when I was 16, and it was by myself. And it was arguably fairly easy because I didn't have to talk to anybody. I'm a loner at a lot of times. I like to be by myself. So it was very easy to just go by myself. But then after things progressed, that did real well. And then I linked up with my now business partner. And it was weird in the beginning, I have to admit. But I had to learn the fact of what real teamwork meant. And I admittedly didn't know what teamwork was to that greatest extent, is the fact that, like, we're in this together, and you know, it's not just my set. We have to basically sit. We joke that we're almost like a married couple, because we have to joke about, like, we have to deal with everything together. But the biggest thing that I learned with teamwork is communication. If we can always start bickering. You know, once a month we'll bicker about something.
Right.
Rarely happens, but the moment we just sit down and we own up and we're like, hey, you're out of whack, I'm out of whack, what's going on? And we talk to each other, it comes back together. And we basically say, you know, your job is X, my job is Y, let's go out and do it. And through teamwork, we've basically found what Dave's great at, which is the selling part, and what I'm good at, which is the management part. And if we basically do our roles, we have an awesome...
Yeah, so that's a great point. I'm glad you brought up roles, because you talk about married couple, you talk about teamwork, you talk about, being in unison towards a common goal. Now, let's just go dump it into, like, the intern, this college student, right?
Yep.
Their issue is, I'm in a group and this kid sucks and this student doesn't care. How do you kind of find that common ground? Because maybe they don't, and you're going to have the same thing. Maybe you hire someone who they have a really good skill that's going to help you achieve your goal, and maybe they just want to use your company as a launching pad for their either own company or their next job.
It's interesting you say that. So we're a big proponent of interns and paid internships. And basically with our interns, there was two types. There was one that would come in and would just up and leave after the 6 months or whatever it was, and they got a great job. And there's other ones that really stick with you. But the thing, it goes back to communication. If we would have known first day, they walk in, hey,
What the expectations are,
yeah. Admittedly, I'm using you guys to get to Johnson & Johnson.
Right.
Cool, do it. Like we saw it happen, 100% do it. But you have to communicate that, or else there's just different levels of expectations and what's going on, and then you start questioning. So that's one thing. Going back to, my team member's not doing this, my team member's not doing that. That's literally in every part of life. Yep. Like there's some days that I wake up and maybe one of our employees just isn't doing something. But at the end of the day, that goes back to our other video. It's on me. It's my job to either motivate them or to give them the right tools. And if they're not doing it, then maybe they have to get fired. But ultimately, it comes back to me.
Right.
And we try to do everything to maintain people, to not just be like, it's their fault, they get fired.
Yeah, so let's take the kind of first thing that you talked about, which is roles, and then the second question, which I asked. And then let's go into, how do you establish roles? Because in a team, there are roles, right? You're going to have someone who wants to be the superstar of the LeBron James or anybody like that. And then you have a role player who's going to get the rebounds, who's going to do all these things. How do you establish roles so that everybody's happy, they're all in unison, and they're all doing the job to get to the role?
Well, I'm gonna talk in like startup culture. I've never worked for a Fortune 500. We do videos for them. We definitely see the differentiations in like hierarchy and whatnot. So I don't know as far as that role goes, but I can tell you in a startup, an ownership perspective, everything is yours. Now, there's some things that you're better at, some things that
other people
I'm better at, and whatever. But at the end of the day, if Dave, my business partner, is sick and we have to make sales, I'm picking up the phone and calling. I suck at that, but I'm picking up the phone and calling. Now, how do we figure out who's better at what? You see where people gravitate to. Mm-hmm. And the best partnership that we have is the fact that he does what I don't like doing and I do what he doesn't like doing. And we basically work in sync.
And you guys have really like the self-awareness to just say it. I'm not good at this. I'm good at that.
we take the ego out of it. It's like, I'm not trying to be the best at sales when I know I'm not good at it.
Right.
And I will wave my white flag and be like, I suck.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that's a great way to just kind of take the teamwork part and simplify it into roles, establishing the goals, and dealing with maybe not incompetent or difficult team members, but somebody who has a different goal or mindset involved. So thank you very much.
Awesome.